I wasn't going to do one of these today because I wasn't sure there was enough going on. But then some stuff happened and I'm like, alright, Sundays with Steve. As you know, I've been somewhat consumed by the invasion of Ukraine. Not only because it's just wrong, but I've got Ukrainian friends and they're getting drones and missiles dropped on them. It's fucking disgusting. But over the past week, Ukraine's taken a bit of a kicking. I mean, not that many people died, but I think it's like 60, which is, you know, that's pretty bad. Itchy nose. But then, last night, Ukraine did something that no one saw coming. They had a thing called Operation Web, and they've destroyed 41 Russian aircraft by hitting them at their airfields. They didn't even have a chance to defend themselves. And it was really clever. What they did was they smuggled in drones in trucks and whatever, and then they hid them, and they got more and more and more in these containers on the backs of trucks, and then they took the trucks out to close to the airfields, like 5 different airfields, and then Zelensky was in charge, controlling everything from Ukraine. They pushed a button, all the drones flew up at the same time, and then just kicked the fucking shit out of the Russian airfields. So they didn't have to fly over Russia. They were small FPV drones, individually controlled by Ukrainians back in Ukraine, which is nuts if you think about it. But that's what they did. And they, as I said, they just flew and destroyed 41 fighters, bombers, reconnaissance aircraft, and the Russians are just like, that's a massive chunk of their air force. And this is 450 miles in kilometers inside Russia. And I mean, this is a kind of turning point of the war, I think, because no one's quite sure what anyone's going to do about it. Trump's just being a fucking idiot because he's like, this way and that. Same with the fucking tariffs, you know, it's like he doesn't have a clue. You know, it's like the last thing he sees before he types out something on Truth Social is what he responds to. You know, it's like if he ate cornflakes in the morning, he'd be like, cornflakes, there should be tariffs on this. So he's just not helping Ukraine enough. He's not helping Ukraine at all. The help that Ukraine is getting right now from the Americans was all set up by Biden, who I think should have done more, but was being very conscious that he didn't want to escalate things. It's like, well, you didn't escalate things, and now, where are we now? Things escalated. They should have just thrown a bunch more at the just equipment and munitions is what the Ukrainians were asking for, and they're still asking for it. They don't want people, they've got enough people, they just want gear, and then they'll be fine. So they're doing that, but it's taking a while. It's not quite got there yet, but I think this is quite a substantial change, because now everyone in the world is going, whoa. I mean, 40 aircraft destroyed in the space of an hour or two is insane. And so it just shows you what they can do. And they did that without any help from anybody. This was done by the Ukrainians, for the Ukrainians, completely about Ukrainians. So that's the interesting news today. My friend bought his boat. I'll show you. That's the one we're shooting the film on. And I'm just sat here on my boat. So that's it. That's today's little 5-minute Sundays with Steve. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.